Hello, my name is Kylie Patterson, and I did my internship this past winter semester at EIRMC, the hospital in Idaho Falls, shadowing the child life specialists. There at EIRMC, they consider this internship a job shadow, so you're basically going to be observing. The main environments that you'll be in consist of the pediatric unit, the pediatric intensive care unit, or the PICU, and then you'll occasionally be in the emergency department and radiology and other environments within the hospital. The way that I found out about this internship was actually in my professional development class. I had never heard about the child life career until I learned about it in that class, and it really interested me. So when the student came in who was doing her internship at EIRMC, shadowing the child life specialists, and she did her presentation, I talked with her a lot afterwards, and she gave me the information that I needed to contact them. So I emailed and talked with Sydney and Diana, the certified child life specialists at EIRMC, and they let me know everything that I needed to do in order to get there as an intern. Soon they'll be trying to turn this into an internship that you actually need to apply for, so anticipate that the process will be a little bit different. Your typical responsibilities, as I mentioned earlier, the biggest one is to observe. The one voice philosophy was something that I learned about while I was there at the very beginning, and this basically teaches you the things that you should be aware of concerning the child as you're in the room with them. And one of these things is that the child should only be hearing one voice. So you as the intern shouldn't be talking during these interactions with the children that the child life specialists have. You should be observing the child life specialist, listening to what she's saying and how she's interacting with the child. The typical assignments that you'll have consist of a weekly journal, which you'll be required to incorporate developmental knowledge within that journal. So different things like theorists like Piaget and his cognitive development stages. You might incorporate those into your journal concerning a child that might be in one of those stages, or different things like that. So it really helps to take notes throughout the day so that you can remember these things and remember what you've observed. Another thing is a monthly developmental assessment that you'll do on a child. So you'll be covering developmental domains and talking about how they are developing in those domains. Another thing is monthly observations and assessments. So what that is it'll consist of like a medical preparation or a medical play session or a procedural distraction or a coping strategy that you observe the child life specialist doing with a patient. You'll have one written case study that'll be due at some point throughout the semester. You'll have one planned and implemented special activity, so just an activity that you will plan and then follow through with at some point during the semester. You'll also have a self-evaluation at the end. How I benefited EIRMC, mostly, like I said, I had to observe, but I was able to do things like help normalize the hospital experience for the children by making and putting up decorations on the walls, which I have a picture of in the next slide. I also played with children when their parents needed a break, and I held babies while their parents weren't there, and I provided help, any kind of help that I could to the child life specialists. And here's one of the walls that I did my decorations on. How I benefited. I feel like I benefited so much from this internship. I learned a lot from the child life specialists, and they're really amazing. Some of the things that I learned consisted of different strategies during procedures, different coping strategies for children in the hospital. I learned how to pursue a career in child life, and I learned how to talk to children in the hospital in a developmentally appropriate way based on their age, culture, and other things. I also gained, of course, valuable experience observing different situations that the child life specialists would have with the children in the hospital. The connection that I made between my major, which is child development, and child life was constant. I feel like I was always applying my knowledge in child development each day with the children that I would observe and the situations that I would observe with child life specialists. I was able to apply that knowledge in my weekly journals, and it was amazing to see how often you think of the things that you've learned in your major while you're observing these things in the hospital, and as you're seeing children and their development and how they're reacting and interacting. And so that was really neat for me. So yes, I would recommend this internship because I do love child life, and I've really come to love it a lot more throughout this internship. So here are the different contact information that you would need to become an intern at EIRMC, shadowing the child life specialists. Like I said, the certified child life specialists there are Diana Mall and Sydney Lewis. And there's their emails. And then for any additional information that you want just about child life, go to www.childlife.org. It tells you everything, and it explains what the child life career is, and it's really neat. Thank you.